Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we are going to consider one interesting indicator named as mass index. This is an indicator derived using the EMA methodology. We take into consideration usually, of course you can vary the calculation rate, but as per the calculator, we take 9-day EMA of the range, that is the difference between the high and low of the 9-day moving average, and then we divide it by again 9-day moving average. We see this difference over this period of time, what is the range, how the volatility is stacking up, whether the volatility is increasing or decreasing, how things are evolving. All these things are considered, and using this methodology, we get an output value, which then helps us in figuring out whether the current trend is likely to continue or if it is likely to reverse its course and change the direction. Of course, for precise formula, you can do a simple search on the internet and you will get the exact formula. So I'm not going into the details of the calculation methodology. Here we will simply consider its possible uses, how we can customize this indicator for the best of trading setup for figuring out the opportunities. So for that, let us now head to the G4 trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. Is the USD chart with each candle grid defined at hourly. I have plotted on the bottom side of the chart the mass index with the default configuration. The EMA period is 9, and then we are taking the sum of the difference for the calculation period of 25. In my introduction, I try to give you the idea of the methodology of the calculation, but that was not precise for exact formula. You will have referred to the internet, and now these days we have AI-powered internet search provided by both Microsoft as well as Google. So with that, it becomes much easy and also much more interactive for us to look at these calculation and figure out the logic, underlying logic for these formulas. Now, if we want to make the best possible use of this indicator, all we need to do is carry out multiple observation over the period of long time. Of course, we want to be fairly comfortable while using these indicators. For that, we need to be well familiar with these indicators calculation as well as how it works out in these dynamic market situation. So with that, we will be in a better position to go for the uses of these indicator. Now, if we look at these observations for the last couple of sessions, one thing is that we see the output value of the indicator rising and falling, and there is one key level plotted on this chart, and that is the level of 27. It is considered quite important from the point of view of the indicator's output value. We see how we can use this level, the defined level of 27, to make the decision of whether to go for the trade or wait for better opportunity. So now, if we have to decide at the current juncture whether to go for the trade or to sit on the sidelines, we always have to keep in mind how things are shaping up so far. And for that, one thing is that we have to consider these price dynamic price series over the last couple of sessions, where we are working with these indicator. And now if we go back in time, just a couple of days back on 15th of June, we had this big move in Euro USD, a move of almost 150 pips, where the euro climbed from 1.082 to 1.097, just a little shy of 1.1 level. And from there onwards, it has gone into a consolidation phase where it is moving in a narrow range. The range has narrowed down, and we are not really seeing any big moves happening for the last two sessions. Even in today's session, the price moves have been rather shallow, rather narrow, and within this given range, if we are to profit, we will have to know where to get involved for a new trade and what is the possibility of the continuation of the trade as well as the possible reversal. Now, if we consider today's price moves, we have seen these reversal from the higher levels when we saw that the level of 27 was reached after these strong move, and afterwards the mass index output value started to decline. That was the time for us to start looking for possible reversal, because one of the classical interpretation of this indicator is as follows. We watch out for the output value of this indicator if we see the output crossing above 27, and afterwards if the price move drops below the 27 level, and it remains below that level for a good amount of time. Now, a good amount of time is a broader term. We will have to consider these in the context. So I think even a couple of candle periods can be considered good enough. So that is very subjective and difficult to define. So if we consider these price moves here, we had this big move in the underlying instrument, that is Euro USD, and afterwards the output value of the mass index dropped as the price stabilized and started to go sideways, and that's where we have to start looking for the possible reversal in underlying instruments price moves. So here I think we should have started to look for short selling opportunities when we saw these reversal from the higher level. So for last two sessions, the underlying momentum has been bearish. The consolidation phase is ongoing with the momentum slightly bearish. So we can't target big moves because the current trend is not strongly bearish, but it is slightly bearish. The underlying is bearish while it is a consolidation phase. So with that in mind, we would be in a position to profit from these current price dynamics as long as we don't really see any big move above 27. We can be fairly confident of the continuation of these current price moves. So we will be looking for reversal of these bearish level only after the output of these indicator rises above 27 and then drops again below 27. So far, it has continuously remained below 27. So we have to go with the interpretation that the current trend is ongoing and it is likely to continue, and we should be in a position to take advantage of this current scenario. So that is one classical interpretation. Same thing applies in the inverted fashion for reversal from bearish to bullish. If we go back in time, we will find that kind of example as well. So here, in this scenario, the momentum was bearish when the consolidation was ongoing for Euro USD, and after that the Euro USD saw the mass index ultimately rising above 27 and then dropping below it. And after it spent some time and started to rise, we saw this reversal. So our concept, the classical use is holding here in this scenario also. When we see that the current trend has reached the levels where the output value of this indicator is crossing this critical level of 27, and afterwards it is reversing course. We start looking for the possible reversal in the price action as well. And that is where we have to start targeting the new entries. And there is one more such example of the possible reversal happening in the underlying instrument. This indicator is not going to give you the directional basis. We have to interpret the direction of the movement using the price series data because there is a trend neutral. It only considers the range of the underlying instrument, and depending on the narrowing or the broadening of the range, we try to figure out the strength of the current trend and the possibility of reversal in the current price moves. So for that, we take the help of the price moves, the range of the price moves, and also the volume data. So I hope you got this idea of how to take advantage of this indicator. You can also use this indicator on the lower time frame also. So for that, you can reduce these candle print to lower time frame. Let us look at the 5-minute candle time frame. So here also we saw the output for the underlying instrument rising above 27, and in due course of time it dropped below 27, and we saw this change of direction for the Euro USD, the underlying instrument, earlier in the day, and then things remained bearish for a while, and again the bearish trend peaked at around these levels, and we saw the output of the Euro USD mass index again rising above 27, and in due course of time it started to drop below this level, and from there on we are seeing these price rise for the underlying instrument. So we can look for possible reversal using this indicator on all sorts of time frames from 1 minute to 5 minutes to hourly to daily. So we can rely on this indicator to get us the optimum entry and exit points where we feel that the ongoing trend is likely to end, and we should now start looking for the opportunities from the point of view of the reversal in the current trend. So this is one such indicator which helps you in figuring out the change of trend for the underlying instrument. You have to use these in conjunction with the price series data. This is not going to give you the idea of the trend in a standalone manner. You will have to combine these output with the price series data. You can also pair it with other instruments, other indicators as well. So that possibility is also there, and using all these data points in a combined manner, you can then figure out the trading opportunities in the market. So that is the best way to go with this indicator. I hope you have got the underlying logic and its possible uses on these platform. You can of course customize these indicators for your trade system compatibility. If you have any current trading system under development, you can incorporate this indicator in that as well. And if you are looking for a new trade system development, you can take advantage of this indicator for designing a new system as well. For editing, you can vary the EMA's calculation rate as well as the summations calculation rate. So all these options are provided. You can even vary the moving average type for these indicators customization. So whenever you vary these calculation rate, you will get different types of output, which is going to considerably vary depending on the kind of combination you are using. So I would suggest that you try it out, you see how these different combinations work out for these different values of the input, and depending on the combination which you feel is likely to prove best, you can then go for the precise defining of these parameters. Output value, you can go for different color combinations, so all that possibility is there. The trend up and trend down can be defined in another color if you are not really fan of the current color combination. Styling and also the transparency factor can be varied if you feel that the current output of these indicators is looking too prominent on the chart, and these are two important levels. As long as the output for the current indicator remains below 26.5 and rising, we consider it to be the continuation of the current trend. And when it tops 25, when it rises above 25, we consider it as the possibility of current trend peaking. Of course, then we do have to wait for the output value to drop below 27 level and hold below 27 level before we can strongly infer that the current trend is now reversing course. We will do well to change our trades direction as well. Recalculate on new candle only. You can go for these option as well. So the output will get locked in at the levels of opening price for the current candle. Your calculation period will be highlighted if you go for this. You can further customize the calculation with these options where you can customize the instrument, candle grade and the spread size independently of the chart. Show indicator on all the grades. Whatever is your candle grade, you can have this indicator available on all the time frames if you opt in for this. Else you can independently define a particular time frame you want this indicator, and only on that particular time frame this indicator will be available. So these are multiple possibilities of working with this indicator. Now, I think I have tried my best to make you familiar with these indicators uses, and you can write to me the feedback if you have any query related to its calculation, its logical formulation, and its uses. So do write to me the feedback. Thank you all for joining in. I'll be back tomorrow with an equally interesting indicator to work with. So do come back. Thank you all. See you next time around. Goodbye.